Hey there, I'm Scott. Welcome back to my home and my kitchen. Over the weekend I had this really great email from a lady named Nicole in Tennessee, and she was asking me for a recipe which I actually really love to prepare and make it quite often. And that's called smothered chicken. It's essentially a lightly fried chicken, boneless, that you then sort of smother and simmer in this really kind of rich, nice sauce for a little while and serve it, and it is absolutely fantastic. It's delicious comfort food. So let's head over to the kitchen and get started. Alright, let's get started on smothered chicken. It is delicious, and it's really not a hard dish to get together because most of the ingredients you're going to have already in your pantry. What you'll need to start with is about 2 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken. I'm using only thigh meat. This is organic chicken thighs. I just find that in a dish like this, it's really, really delicious and probably the most flavorful part of the chicken. So I have 2 pounds of that. In this bowl, I have 2 cups of just all-purpose flour. Then you'll need 2 tablespoons of your favorite Cajun seasoning divided. You're going to need 1 tablespoon to go in to bread the chicken, and 1 tablespoon to actually flavor the sauce. You're going to need about 1/2 cup or so of very finely chopped celery, about 1 cup to 1 1/4 cups of finely chopped onion. I have red onion, it was what I had. You can definitely use white or yellow onion, it doesn't really matter. 3 tablespoons of butter and 3 tablespoons of flour. 4 cups of chicken stock. This is a homemade chicken stock and it's delicious. And salt and pepper to taste. And we'll also need some Worcestershire sauce to flavor our sauce with when we get to that state. But first what we want to do is actually cut up the chicken, so I'll show you how we do that. Alright, so let's get started. What I've done in this large skillet is just layered it with some vegetable oil just to cover the pan by about 1/4 inch. And I'm going to turn that on and let that start heating up while we actually season up our flour. So to the 2 cups of flour, I'm going to add a tablespoon of the Cajun seasoning. About a teaspoon of salt goes in there, and a few grounds of the black pepper. Probably 1/2 teaspoon or so of that. And if you like it a little peppery, add more. If you don't like it, leave it out. Alright, get all that into your flour, and I'm just using a fork here to kind of incorporate that throughout. Alright, and then on to our chicken thighs. Chicken thighs are, as you can see, kind of big. I just take my poultry shears and either cut them into halves, so you have sort of a manageable piece, or into quarters. So I got my chicken all cut up and put into the flour mixture. Washed my hands. Whenever you're dealing with raw chicken like this, make sure that you keep a really clean environment, your hands, all that. So now that it's into the flour, I'm just going to toss this around to get everything well coated. You'll notice that this isn't like making like a traditional fried chicken where you really want a thick, crispy batter. This is just going to sort of add a layer of crust to it, so it actually gives the sauce something to stick to. But you will get some of that nice fried flavor as well. So you just get this completely turned about. Nothing big, and then after that, it's going to go directly into your hot oil. And make sure that your oil is hot, and add the pieces gradually. If you have to do 2 batches, that'll be just fine. Have a bowl or a large platter lined with paper towels standing by, so when you remove it, you'll have a place to put those. Okay, and just notice that I am shaking off as much of the flour as possible before adding it there into the oil. And like I said, we're going to get a nice layer of this done. And once the first side is brown, then we'll flip them over and cook the other side. We're not looking to cook this chicken all the way through, by the way, because it will continue to cook once we make our sauce and add the chicken to that. So the chicken is starting to brown nicely on that first side. As you can see, it's looking really great. So we're just going to turn this over and let the other side get nicely browned. Then we're going to remove this to our kitchen paper. The second side of the chicken browned up very nicely, so I'm just going to get this out of the oil, which by the way is very hot. I heated this oil up to at least 350 degrees, 360 is optimal. So get the chicken out after it's nicely browned. I'm going to add the second batch, get that cooked off, then I'll show you how to make the delicious sauce. Okay, so these last bits of chicken are just finished frying on their second side. So we're going to get those out of the pan. I'm going to put this pan in the sink and get a fresh one, and I'll show you how to make the delicious sauce. So I got a fresh pot out. It needs to be a little bit deep because you are going to be adding, the chicken back to this, so it'll raise the level of the sauce, and something that has a tight-fitting lid. So to get started, I have the pan over about a medium-high heat, and I'm going to add this butter to the pan. Let that melt nicely, and then we'll start adding the ingredients to build our sauce. Okay, our butter got nicely melted, sort of foamy, and that's exactly what you're looking for. So to that, add your celery and your onions right in. We're going to cook these probably 3 to 5 minutes until they get really nice. Our celery and onion got really nice and cooked, a little bit transparent, but not brown. That's one thing you don't need on this, is any brown color. And one thing I forgot to mention when I was giving the ingredients is some really nice dry sherry to deglaze this pan with. So I'm going to add probably about 1/4 cup of that and stir it around until it gets completely surrounded with all of the vegetables, and let this reduce until almost dry. And that'll just take probably 30-45 seconds if your pan is hot. And I am working over a medium-high heat here. Okay, so to that, what we're going to do is add our flour. We're going to add about a teaspoon of salt, a tablespoon of the Cajun seasoning, and combine all of that nicely. And this flour will essentially make your mixture just seize up slightly, and that's just fine. When we add the chicken stock to it, it'll all loosen back up and become a really great sauce. But we just want to stir it around, cooking that raw flour taste out of our flour. And then just start slowly, probably just a douse at a time. Add a little bit of chicken stock and give your vegetable mixture a good stir. Once that's incorporated, do it again. So probably about a cup at a time is what I'm adding here. And we finish with that last addition of the chicken stock. And give all that a stir. What we want to do is bring this up to a boil, and that will really start to thicken the sauce. But in the meantime, what I want to do is add about, anywhere from a teaspoon to a tablespoon of the Worcestershire sauce. And that's going to be up to your taste. If you don't like the flavor of this, by all means, you can omit it completely. So our mixture has just come to a boil. What I want to do now is just reduce it down to a low to a very medium low. And add our fried chicken. Just scatter that about. And what I find is leaving just a little bit of the chicken crust sort of sticking up out of the sauce. When you get ready to serve it, you still get a little bit of crispness in the dish when you take it to the table. Alright, so there they are. They're looking delicious. They've been in the sauce for about 45 minutes and the chicken is completely cooked through. Let's get it plated up and give it a taste. Okay. I'm going to reach in here and grab some of this chicken with the delicious sauce. And if you'd like, you can definitely serve this over white rice. It would be delicious, or with potatoes. But today I'm serving it with black-eyed peas and turnip greens, and it's going to be fantastic. Okay, let's give this a shot and see what we came up with. Wow, the chicken, the crust looks delicious. And sauce is what you really want. It's fantastic. So there you have it. Smothered fried chicken, black-eyed peas, and turnip greens. All delicious, all truly Southern. And I really hope you'll try to make these. As always, please feel free to email me at scottinoregon@comcast.net should you want to make a comment on this video or ask me to prepare one for you. I'll be happy to. Alright, have a good day. Bye.